Okay, last lesson for the first half of chapter 2, section 5. This is solving a multivariable equation for a variable. And if we're still in class, hopefully, then you're getting this printed. You just have to fill in whatever I write. So, first example, here's a word problem. In 2004, Ernst van Dijk won the wheelchair race of the Boston Marathon with a time of about 1.3 hours. The race was 26.2 miles. What was his average speed? Use the formula d equals rt to solve, and in this formula, d stands for distance, r for rate, and t for time. So we're being asked speed, which is rate. So the first thing we're going to do is take this multivariable equation, d equals rt, and solve it for r. Which means this guy right here needs to be by himself. He currently is not. So the question is, what's happening to him? He is being multiplied by t. Well, he wants to be by himself, so we have to undo that. How do you undo multiplying by t? Divide by t. And of course, whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. So d divided by t is equal to r. That's solving for a variable. Once we do that, we can then use our solve formula to calculate the rate. So use our new formula, d divided by t equals r, by plugging 1.3 in for t and 26.2 in for d. So 26.2 divided by 1.3 is equal to r. And I'm just going to grab a calculator to do this real fast. 26.2 divided by 1.3 is ugly. So r is about 20.2 miles per hour. I am rounding to the nearest tenth because this is an ugly decimal that might be repeating. I'm not sure. So we're just going to round it to one place. That's fine. Next example. The formula to convert temperatures from Fahrenheit to Celsius is F equals 9/5 C plus 32. Capital F, of course, is the temperature in Fahrenheit. Capital C is the temperature in Celsius. We are being tasked with solving that formula for C. So first, let me copy the formula. F equals 9/5 C plus 32. And we want C to be by itself. Right now, it is not. So what's being done to C? Well, there's a 9/5 being multiplied to it, and there's a 32 being added to it. When we solve equations, when we isolate variables, generally we do kind of sort of the opposite of the order of operations. We undo addition and subtraction first, then we undo multiplication and division. So the first thing we're going to have to do is subtract 32 from both sides. Now what's that look like? Well, f minus 32, those aren't like terms. So f minus 32 is f minus 32. On the right side, obviously, 32 minus 32 cancels, leaving us with this 9/5 C. Yes, there's a reason I left a gap there. Gonna change color for my operation here. And you'll pardon my dog, she's upstairs freaking out about something right now. There must be a squirrel out in the power line or something. So now we have this C being multiplied by 9/5. Okay. How do you undo multiplication? Normally, division. But we'd be dividing by a fraction, which we cannot do. So instead of trying to divide by the fraction 9/5, we will multiply by its reciprocal. We will multiply by 5/9. And that means we're going to multiply the entire left-hand side by 5/9. Remember, the idea of doing that is that the 5s and the 9s would cancel. which is exactly what we need. C by itself. And on the left side here, there is no reason to distribute. We could take that 5/9 and multiply it to both f and 32. But it really isn't going to give us anything that looks nicer. It's actually going to give us something that looks much, much worse. So let's just leave it as 5/9 times the quantity f minus 32. We now have c by itself, which is what we were going for. Solve the formula for c. We did it. The formula for a person's typing speed is s equals w minus 10e divided by m, where s is speed in words per minute, w is the number of words typed, e is the number of errors made, and m is the number of minutes spent typing. Solve this equation for w. Okay, s equals w minus 10e divided by m. And w goes in the box. W wants to be alone. So we've got a minus 10e and we've got a divided by m, whole thing divided by m. Now, when we have multiplication and addition or subtraction, we usually undo the addition or subtraction first, then undo the multiplication. When we've got division like this, where the entire right-hand side is divided by a variable, or even a number, whatever, and we want something in the numerator by itself, so our box of isolation is in the numerator, our first step is to get rid of the fraction, which we can do by multiplying both sides by m. It's the opposite of dividing by m. That would just cancel out on this side. Over here, we would now have ms. And on the right side, the numerator is by itself, w minus 10e. Again, w is in the isolation box. It wants to be alone, so this minus 10e has to move. Since it's a negative value, we will add it to both sides. ms and 10e are not like terms, so when you say ms plus 10e, that's all you can write it as, ms plus 10e. And w is by itself. We have solved for w. We did it. Okay. So, just for definition here, a formula is a type of literal equation. A literal equation is one that has two or more variables. So something like solve m minus n equals 5 for m. So m minus n equals 5. And we want it solved for m, which means we want m by itself. Well, what's being done to m? It's got a minus n. So how do I undo that and get it to the other side? Addition. 5 plus n can't combine, so we leave it as 5 plus n, and there we go. We've solved for m. Next equation, solve m divided by k equals x for k. Okay, now this one you want to pay attention to. So hopefully you've watched the video this far. When the thing we're solving for is in the denominator of a fraction, step 1 is to kill the fraction, which means we're actually going to do something with the thing we're trying to get by itself. Here we're going to multiply both sides by k to get rid of the fraction. Okay, that gets m by itself, which is not what we want, but we have to do it in the process of getting k by itself. Okay, now you're looking at m equals xk. What's being done to k? It's being multiplied by x. How do I undo multiplication? Division. M divided by x is equal to k.